Tuesday, February 19th, 2019, Maneco 64, home of alternative economics and contrarian views. This morning I want to talk about the reset. There's so much speculation about the reset. I've spoken about it in the past, and I'm going to tell you when I think the reset will be complete. Not in terms of time, because I think predicting these things is almost impossible, of course. And I will also talk about in how many ways the reset can happen, how quickly it can happen, in my opinion. Before that, of course, I'll look at what the markets are doing this morning. U.S. markets will resume trading today. Markets were closed yesterday for President's Day or George Washington's birthday. I'm a little earlier today, so I'm right on the open in Europe and in the city. This is when most people get to their desks, at least the traders, the brokers, and the fund managers maybe. It's just gone past 7 a.m. London. So right now we've got spot gold at 1323. It's down on yesterday's move. It's down $3, but it's actually up about $2 from the US close on Friday. We still have very good resistance around the 25 level, even though we've been above that level overnight and we've been to 1327. So 1323 spot gold. Silver 1575, down about 6 cents. Range has been 1583 to 1573. The Dow future is down 22 at 25,885. S&P is down 2 as well at 27.75. NASDAQ 100 future is down 11 points at 70.67. So fairly quiet, the stock markets. The currencies, the pound's a little weaker here. It's testing 129, is down 0.2%. Euro is back below 113 just. It's at 112.98. It's down 0.1%. And the dollar slightly firmer against the yen at 110.68. Dollar also up 0.1% against the Chinese currency at 678. Crude oil still fairly firm above 55. It's at 56.30 WTI. Brent 66.44. So also quite firm. Treasuries are back up and running. So right now the 10-year yield is fairly subdued, 267. It's unchanged from Friday. The 1 year to the 5 year spread is around 5 basis points. So the curve there still inverted. So the reset. A lot of people call it the global currency reset. Personally, I think it's more going to be a reset of the financial system. And it doesn't matter what fiat currency you hold, you will feel it. For me, it's going to be a reset of between paper assets and tangible assets, and the two assets that represent those two, in my opinion, the most, which are the benchmark. Well, for the paper assets is that the Dow Jones Industrial Average, and the tangible assets, of course, is physical gold or bullion. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is, it might seem very simple what I'm saying. I'm not showing equations. I'm not talking about all these different permutations, because I believe in something called Occam's razor. And what's Occam's razor? Well, it's a principle from philosophy. It says here on Wikipedia, it says, suppose there are two explanations for an occurrence. In this case, the one that requires the least speculation is usually better. It's just trying to make things simple. I think sometimes people complicate things too much. So that's what I try to stick with. The other thing I try to stick with is not trying to predict exact dates and prices. All I can see is that actors are behaving in a fashion that will have consequences. What does that mean? Well, it's very simple as well. If you don't exercise enough and you eat too much, or if you drink too much, you smoke too much, your health is going to deteriorate. Not sure when, but it will. And that's the philosophy of another sound money proponents, or gold bug if you want to call it, Dr. Franz Pick, who wrote this book, The Triumph of Gold, in the 1980s. And in the introduction, Dr. Henry Jarecki, a friend of his, says, true enough, he predicted, or said he did, the 1926 devaluation of the French franc, the 1931 devaluation of the British pound, and the meteoric rise in gold that emerged in the late 60s. But those predictions were not, when one knew him, predictions at all. They were rather the words of Hosea declaring that the children of Sodom and Gomorrah were behaving badly and would thus come to no good. They were not, any more than Hosea's words were, practical guideposts. Not at all. He knew no more about when gold or currencies would go up or down than anyone else can in this random world. So that's what I'm trying to say. I know in the long term, gold will hold its value, protect your wealth. But I can't tell you, well, gold's going to be at 2,000 by October. Well, it could, but I don't know. It's just seeing that what's been what have the children of Sodom and Gomorrah done? Well, they've indebted the world massively, and I'll show you that with John Exter's pyramid. And that's the other thing about the reset. What this reset will do is balance things out, and you can see right now, this is from silver bullion. I'm not sure how current this is, but you can see the inverted pyramid, gold there at the base of the pyramid. And you can see how, we've got a quadrillion of derivatives. We've got 116.4 trillion of loans, 300 trillion of real assets, government debts. So you can see the reset will happen, in my opinion, when the Dow Gold ratio is near to 1. And that's simple. How it will get there, I don't know. It could be a hyperinflated reset, in which case gold would go and catch up with the Dow at 30,000, or it could be a deflationary reset where everything else comes down and gold might go up a bit or might stay the same. And I'll show you the example. Two examples of the major resets we've seen in the last 100 years. And how do I know that happened? Well, just looking at the Dow Gold ratio. The first one, so the Dow Gold ratio basically is the price of the Dow divided by the price of gold per ounce. So it tells you how many ounces of gold you need to buy one Dow. And the higher that ratio, the more the system has favored paper assets. The less that ratio, the more the system is favoring tangible assets. So if we go, and when we get close to 1, that means a reset has happened and the financial system can reboot again, credit creation can start again, and that's what it's about. So you see in 1933, that ratio got below 2 at 194, February 1933. That was just before the bank holiday in the US. So that's where the Dow Gold ratio was. And then for the next, 33 years, that ratio went up. Things slowly and gradually improved. there was more credit creation, and that Dow Gold ratio topped at around 28 in 1966. You can see there as well, before the 1929 crash, we got up almost to 20. And you can see that every time there's a credit boom, that ratio goes even higher. And don't forget, this is a logarithmic chart, so it's not so it's a percentage-wise chart. And then you had the second major reset was, of course, in 1980, February 1980, when gold and silver got up above 800 and also 50 respectively. That ratio almost went to 1. It looks here like 1.3. This chart is from macrotrends.net. So that was the last reset, and then we've had this huge credit boom since the early 80s, where the national debt has gone from $1 trillion or just under $1 trillion to now 22 trillion, and it's expected to go even higher. And technically, we've been in credit contraction, or paper assets have been underperforming since 1999, 2000, because that ratio got to 42, and right now we're just below 20. But we've had a reprieve, so to speak, since 2011, when that ratio got to around 6.5. Recently, last year, we got up to 22.5 in this ratio. But what I'm trying to say is that until we get to somewhere around 1, it might even go below 1 this time. We might see the price of the Dow even below 1 ounce of gold. So that's what it will mean. How that will happen, if it will happen gradually, or if it's going to happen like over a weekend. If it happens over a weekend, all that will happen is probably the price of gold will be reset a lot higher. That's one way. The other way is more of a gradual thing, kicking the can down the road. And eventually, maybe in a few years' time, we see that ratio get down to 1. So which way do I think it's going to happen? Well, I think if the powers that be are not able to keep a very big crisis at bay, then we're going to have the one where we're going to wake up on a Monday or whenever, and you won't be able to get any physical gold. The COMEX will be shut down or temporarily, or or forever, who knows, and the price of gold will be a lot higher, and will be a lot closer in this ratio, 1 to 1. And it doesn't even matter, about the euro, the dollar, about the pound, the yen, the yuan. It's going to be worldwide. It's going to be the reset. That's why I keep telling people, don't worry about the currencies, the fiat currencies, how they fluctuate against each other. All you need to know is that when the reset comes, you need to have the money or the currency that's been around for thousands of years. That is actually a measure of true wealth. And all a reset will do is balance things out from the back in 1980, things balanced out. Paper assets were here, tangible were here, but since then it's gone, a lot like that, and we need to get back to that, and that's all it is. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the like button. Also hit the notification bell to be notified of all my videos. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you do if you enjoy the material. And you can also follow me on Steemit. DTube, and on Twitter. I wish you all a great day. Take care. Bye.